All right. Let's see. Hi, everyone. This is so strange. I'm trying to do two things at once. So I'm going to give it a few minutes. We're live on Facebook, but I also wanted the ability to share this with our folks on our YouTube channel later on. I've just been outside painting. It's been a beautiful day today here in Southern California, except for the fires that are raging around us to the east and the south. We hope those folks are safe, and we light a candle for those firemen that were injured and burned yesterday, I believe it was. But for right now, I'm sitting here enjoying some coffee, and I wanted to talk with y'all today about one of the areas we have on our website for Covenant of the Goddess. For those that don't know me, my name is Janine, and I am the National Public Information Officer for the Covenant of the Goddess. We're celebrating our 45th anniversary this Saturday, and we are extremely excited. We are a national, actually a worldwide organization in support of pagans, witches, and Wiccans. And to be around for 45 years, I think, says a lot for our organization and some of the benefits that we provide to folks. And one of those is to have things available for, nope. I am just having so much fun with our Facebook Live. Let's see, you don't want to look at my screen. Now then, there we go. So let's go here. That's where I want to be. www.cog.org is our website address. And if you are looking for information about CoG, on witchcraft, because I know we get a lot of questions from folks that are new in their journey on the craft. And I think one of the best places they can start is to learn about witchcraft and some of the traditions. Then those that are interested, there's a place where you can learn how to join, which also includes the applications. But the area I wanted to talk with you about today is MerryPart. We're coming up on Samhain, and this is when the veils are the thinnest. And I think besides being able to connect with our ancestors and our dearly departed, it also is a time of reflection sometimes for us on this plane of existence as to what we need to do to prepare ourselves and our loved ones for our own passing on to the next plane. And this collection of information was gathered together by Andrea Joy Kendall, who is a member of the Covenant of the Goddess. And we wanted to just give you an idea that this information has a lot, can help you out when others who may be passing, how to go through neo-pagan funeral rites, what you could do for your own funeral, and to also have an understanding of the process itself. And so for this particular section on our page, Andrea has looked at some of the different traditions. This by no means encompasses all of our pagan traditions, but she has, in her own need, gathered information together that was useful, helpful, and something she wanted to have around and share with others. And as she says here, I strongly feel that one of the best gifts we can leave our loved ones is a document letting them know how we would like to be remembered. And I think that's important, especially when many of our friends and family may be impacted by the virus COVID-19 right now. Knowing what they would like is helpful. And so here is a link to some questions and information about creating advanced funeral wishes. And so you can just click on that and it will take you to Funeral Helper. And there's a lot of great information here, such as perhaps some music or poetry, readings, quotes, various things that you might want to include in your service or services for your friends or family. So let's go back here. Now, another area that she has brought in some information are some more modern ideas about preparations. And of course, I think Facebook has had several links with regards to more eco-friendly ways of services and funerary rites, and ways that either you can distribute your ashes or for yourself. I kind of wish I had known about this when my mother was passing. This would have helped me a great deal. And instead, I ended up at the last minute having to make a lot of choices I didn't think I would ever have to make. And some of them I wish I hadn't made, and some of them I wish I had known about. So this will give you a really good idea about things that you want to remember, and include when you are sharing information. The type of service, will it be an open pagan? Is it mixed? And the differences here: open pagan, what are the various traditions of the deceased? Should the service honor any specific pantheon of gods or goddesses? And is there any specific text that you would like read? Then if it's a mixed service, what are the various traditions? So this is, many of us have different traditions that we follow. In my case, it would be a fairy seership conjure, and the very old tradition of ancient Pictish uh, uh, spirituality, Scottish witchcraft. So, which one of those would I want used for my service? Or do I want all of them somehow reflected in my service? This will just give you a guideline to help in creating that. And then, of course, if it's humanistic, should there be any mention of neo-paganism or religion, or should any references to nature or other subjects be included? And then the format of the service, in fact, in Andrea's uh, preparation for a friend who was Jewish, there was a preparation of the body that the individual had wanted. Indoor ritual followed by a grave service, graveside service. Is it a casket or ashes? For me, I'm going to go with ashes. So I'm going on the record. Um, and then, of course, the tone of the service, I think, is also greatly important because is it supposed to be somber? And I think in my case, I would like it to be joyful and to remember the good things. And are there any particular items that the family would like to use for ritual activities? In some instances, coins are thrown into the grave. Ritual tools included with the deceased. And I think many of us know some of the rituals or some of the activities, such as throwing a flower onto the grave, or saving some of the dirt for, you know, is that person all right with you taking some of the graveyard dirt because they know the importance. Again, Andrea's included some helpful links to resources that she had looked at in preparation for this. One of which is the Pagan Book of Living and Dying, Practical Rituals, Prayers, Blessings, and Meditations on Crossing Over, which was written by Starhawk, Immaka Nightmare, and the Reclaiming Collective. And that has been a popular reference book for finding various applications or rituals and prayers to use for our friends and family who are in a neo-pagan tradition. Another book written by Sarah York is Remembering Well, Rituals for Celebrating Life and Mourning Death. And then there's Funerals Without God, a practical guide to non-religious funerals. And this was written by Jane Wynne Wilson, and it deals with how to perform a funeral appropriate for an atheist. So these are just some of the resources that are available, and you can find them here on our website at www.cog.org. And there is also a link, very importantly, for all of us who have furry companions, our dogs, our cats, our ferrets, our birds, and resources for animals when you are grieving at the loss of your familiar. She's provided an outline here of examples and services for an indoor funeral, graveside service, after indoor funeral, and also for an outdoor funeral. And let me just take a quick look and see how we're doing, because There we go. And I hope I can mute it. Encompasses all of look and see how we're doing. I have to mute this before I go. Oh, folks, merry meet. Encompasses all of yes, Lynn. The veils between life and death are thinning. Before I oh, folks, merry meet. Yes, Lynn. The veil. All right, I will try and pop over in just a minute and look at your questions. So like I said, I've been outdoors trying to get some work done around the house and out in the garage and painting. And this is just a brief aside. So I wanted to come in here and share this with you because I think the timing is appropriate. But we are back here with MerryPart on the CoG website. You also might want to think about with the services, the funerary rites for neo-pagans. Do they want the 4 elements included in the ritual? So for water, perhaps a bowl of water with some flower petals in it, maybe their favorite flower. For earth, their favorite plant, or have a potted tree ready to be planted in the earth after the services. For fire, you can use stones like garnets, candles, a bowl of sand with cinnamon sticks in it. And then, of course, for air, a quill feather or a pen, which could be used to write in the memory book of the service. I know for a dear companion of mine, his family did a beautiful memorial board of pictures of him growing up, and also pictures of him just before he passed. And it was just such a touching remembrance of him. And I think I mentioned earlier, preparation of the body. Of course, in some traditions, the body is cleansed by a family member or someone designated. But other ways of preparation would be if the person wanted a burial or a cremation. And so once again, Andrea has provided examples of cremation and a Wiccan indoor ceremony, graveside service, or a Wiccan graveside funeral. And my own familiar has decided to come in and do doggy things. So let's see what she has here for the Wiccan indoor ceremony. So this particular example uses the elements in the quarter, and some traditions may differ, but you can then instruct people as they enter about ways to pay respects to the dead. And I think this is helpful, especially for those that are not familiar with a neo-pagan funerary service. Music is also important. For the funeral of my mother, it was some big band music, also Ray Conniff, Liberace. These were some of the songs that she wanted. For myself, I think it's going to have to be some Jimmy Buffett, along with some Leonard Skinner and a few other songs that are my favorite pagan songs included. Then you've got opening remarks by your priest and or priestess. Then you go into your dedication of space for all of the quarters. And again, this is just an example. It gives you an idea of what you can do, and then use this and build your own from this. And then various readings that the beloved has requested for their service. And in this particular one, examples of music, Where You Are by Josh Gorban, Turn, Turn, Turn by the Byrds, one of my favorites. Wishing You Were Here Again from Phantom of the Opera. So this would have been a very lovely service. And then the final prayer and chant, I think we are all familiar with, We Come from the Goddess. And so this is a great way to incorporate our own ritual aspects in the funerary service. And then closing words or prayers. And this particular one, Andrea wanted to share. And it's lovely. And it might even be something to include in your Samhain ritual for those that have passed. Do not come when I am dead to sit beside a low green mound, or bring the first gay daffodils, because I love them so, for I shall not be there. You cannot find me there. Where will I be? I will be reflected from the bright eyes of the children, in the smile of the bride and groom on their wedding day, in the flames of the holiday candles, in the joy of a family gathering. I will warm your hands through the glow of the winter fire. I will soothe you with the drop of rain on the roof and make your heart leap with the rhythm of the dance. I will flood your soul with the flaming radiance of the sunrise and bring you peace in the tender rose and gold of the after sunset. All these have made me happy. They are a part of me. I shall become a part of them. And then with that reading, you announce any activities that may take place after that particular service. She has included a funeral for an animal. And I think sometimes we need some assistance with this. The animal, whose name was Hazel, was cremated, and a part of the ashes was kept by the family to wear in lockets, while the rest was buried under a tree. And the items they included were a bell, a bucket or two of water, depending on the number of people attending, a ladle for the bucket placed in one of the buckets, a wand, a hazel tree, ashes and paw print, a picture of Hazel on an easel placed near the bush, chairs facing the front towards the tree, boxes of tissue on TV trays, a watering can, a TV tray and covering. And then she goes through the preparation of the hole to be dug. And then you bring in, you gather everyone and your priest and or priestess, invite everyone to sit down and relax, and explains about the hazel tree and that it is being planted in remembrance of its namesake. And then they go into the main ritual. Family members can share stories about their beloved pet. And then the activity itself, they water the tree. And the priest and or priestess then says, not the least hard thing to bear when they go from us, these quiet friends, is that they carry away with them so many years of our own lives. Let this tree be a reminder of our time spent with Hazel, a living symbol that her influences on our lives remain. And it continues on. Then you will dismiss your circle, and the priest and priestess would then talk privately with the family and then conclude. But isn't that a very sweet ritual for an animal? Oops. Also included are ancient practices. And there's a list here of, and it's not complete by any stretch of the imagination. There's still so much out there, but it does give you good references. So you have Egyptian, you have Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Greek, Nazca, Toltec, Aztec, Inca, Celtic, Norse, to name a few, and more resources. So there are a lot of areas where you can find even more information. And also you can see where she has gathered some of her information. So inspiration, the rites, the placement of the elements differs depending on your tradition. And many have used common directional placement, north, south, east, and west. But you may also have an additional 4 placements for the north, northeast, northwest, if you include those as well. She has included a circle casting, but many of you have your own based on your tradition. Here are some modern readings and some ancient readings. Modern readings, funeral usage for a neo-pagan funeral, a meditation on death, music, and some additional passages or passages that you can read during your service. And then ancient readings. Here's another list of various readings that can be used. The Nectarian Shower of Holy Doctrines, Barago, Diop, Mali poem, African traditional religions. This one is also, I think, one of my favorites. And it is also a very moving. Those who are dead are never gone. They are there in the thickening shadow. The dead are not under the earth. They are there in the tree that rustles. They are in the wood that groans. They are in the water that runs. They are in the water that sleeps. They are in the hut. They are in the crowd. And the dead are not dead. Those who are dead are never gone. They are in the breast of the woman. They are in the child who's wailing, and in the firebrand that flames. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the fire that is dying. They are in the grasses that weep. They are in the whimpering rocks. They are in the forest. They are in the house. The dead are not dead. And so for this Samhain, I think that is particularly thought-provoking, since we know that the veils are thin and many of our beloveds have the opportunity to speak to us in many different ways. These are just some songs. You know what songs that you want for your own, but it gives an example of songs for those that are looking to plan something for family or friends. And then for animals, again, these are inspirational readings in general for cats and for dogs, because we don't want to forget our furry babies. So that is it for the Merry part. I hope that was helpful for some of you to know that that resource is there for you to use at any time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a line to myself, pio@cog.org. Or if you want additional information, you can certainly go on to the COG website and email us there. There are various email addresses under who we are. And so with that, I am going to say thank you, and I hope everyone has a very wonderful and pleasant day. I'm unable to see all of your comments, but what if you don't want any service or anyone to see you when you're dead? Well, Susie, that's something that you most certainly can request. If that is the case, you can then have instructions left in your own trust or will for how you want your final services to be handled. Let's see. All right. Okay, everyone. Let me see if I can find some additional questions before I sign off. Let me see if I can find some additional questions before I sign off. Let me see if I can find some additional questions before I sign off. Shane Bolivar. Let me see if I can find some additional questions before. There we go. Shane Boulevard asked, there are a lot of witches on TikTok. I don't know if you're aware, and a lot of young witches that need guidance on there as well. Shane, I absolutely agree with you. There's a lot of young witches on TikTok. And we try and reach out to them through Instagram, through Twitter. But we have not set up an account on TikTok yet. But I guess that's where I have to go next, because we want to let them know that there are these resources out there for them. And it's not just for the MerryPart. We have other resources on cog.org that they may be interested in. One of the things that I'm going to be doing this year, and if you would like to help, drop me a line. I'm going to be starting to look at various videos on YouTube to see what would be good resources for folks to add to their own information and libraries, and to help them with various aspects of the craft. Wonderful. Okay. Well, I think that's all I have for today to share with you. I hope that this has been helpful. And I think before my poor old desk here decides to quiver in being just me tapping on it, I'm going to say merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Blessed be everyone. And I hope you have a very wonderful and safe Samhain this year. And don't forget, you can join us at 3 p.m. on Saturday for our anniversary party to celebrate 45 years of Covenant of the Goddess. We hope that you come and join us. The link is on our Facebook page. Just register, and we look forward to seeing you then. By the way, wear your bling, your costumes, because it is a party. We're going to celebrate. And if you want to have, if you want to enter your familiar in a costume contest, the information also is on our Facebook page. So check it out and hope to see you on Saturday. Ciao, everyone.